Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we learn more about event handling using the anonymous classes, using adaptive classes, and all that. So we have firstly a container class JF. I call it JF, JFrame. I keep it on the top so that they will be visible to everybody. Got a button, submit button. I got a label. I got a text field. Okay. And last time we did something in a constructor, right? I'm creating an instance of the class and then I create a constructor, but that really messes up. Okay, so what I do is I say construct a method and I create the construct method here, which will actually construct my frame. So I'm gonna say firstly these 4 lines all the time we need them. We need to create a frame, set size, title, location, and also the set default close location. Close operation, we all the time do that, we know that. And we got the LBL name. This is the new label, and put the name there to the label. Now you got a txt name is my JText field, which says enter your name here, and I got icons also, like image icon. IC1 equals new image icon. Then I'm gonna say here get class dot get resource. This actually get class because class loader actually knows where the classes are, so it will give the path. Exactly. The get class will give the path where that our class file is. That's gonna be in a bin, of the workspace and where this project is, and in the bin folder. That is this thing I said in the C. I got Java P and GUI. This is my workspace where it is. I have changed my workspace last time. You could have where the workspace is. There will be your project GUI. Wherever your project is, there will be the bin where your class file is, and in the same folder I put up anything, any picture, then I have to get class will actually give the path of that. Okay. Now I say get resource. I got 3D ping and g.ping, couple of pictures here. This is 3D ping, this is gping, and this is what I want to show. Okay. And then I say boolean submit equals new J button. Then when I create a button, I'm saying this is a new J button. There I call its caption and also which icon it will have. Then I have some flow layouts and all those things, and I add the flow layout, and then I add my first I should have the layout. Okay. Then I will add my label, text box, and a button. And I'm saying also the boolean does subset a roll over icon. That means if you roll the mouse over it, what kind of picture it will have. It will have a separate picture so that it gives little animation stuff. Then what I do is I could have implemented the action listener to this class only, right? And then I don't need anything. But that again messes up. So what I do is I create a separate class which will handle all my it's the inner class, okay, which will handle all my event listening. So I say private class handler implements action listener. This is one way of doing things, or second way of doing things is to use the anonymous inner class, which we will talk. Okay, private class handler implements action listener, for example, and then I will say here if I click a button, because I'm saying boolean submit on add action listener, and I put up the object h1 which implements the action listener. So if my class has implemented action listener, I would have set it this, but this time around I got a handler class and I create an object of the handler class here. So it's a little bit complex, okay, to do stuff like that. But I could do what I could do this thing in a much simpler way, where I will basically use an anonymous class. But the thing is that if I have many stuffs which will be working here, it will become complex. So better is to have a handle class which implements stuff, and here I have the h1 which is the object of the handle class, and you are saying that means if button is clicked, this is what I'm saying here, it will land to the h1, and here is the action performed. Only thing you need is an action performed action listener, which will actually do what? It will be called when the button, somebody who has registered to this action listener has been clicked. So this button is clicked, it will land here which says that, hey, option message. Here I'm saying here JF. That's the container. I need a container here. Last time I said this. Last time I said null. This say null will be that message box will be on the center of the screen, but here it will be on pasted on the center of the frame. Okay. Okay. If I increase the size here, say I say 400 and 400. Maybe a bit more. Okay, 500, 400. I give it a go. This is the button. If I click, it will come to the center of this form. It's called modal. If you want to click this, you can't click it because it's here, right? So I say okay, it's there. And if you hover the mouse to change the icon, as you can see on the background. Okay, okay. And you can just simply write. You want to write here. So I want to write something. Yeah, we can generate events on that also, right? So we'll talk about that later on. But now I want to discuss about the handler. Say for example, I want a mouse event to be on this frame itself. If I want to click somewhere, it should tell me what is the X value and what's the Y value where I clicked. So I need to have a mouse event. Okay. So how I do that? I need to have a mouse event, and I need a handler which will handle my mouse events. Okay. So how am I going to do that? Now say for example I want to also implement that thing. So what I do is I'll say comma in this handler. This is what this handler can handle everything. Okay, that's why it's a good thing to do. And I say I'm gonna handle my mouse events. Okay, mouse listener. So I'm gonna have a mouse listener also. The mouse listener has many in action listener we had only one method to implement, but here I got many methods to implement. Like you can see, it's mouse clicked, mouse entered, mouse exited, mouse pressed, mouse released. When you release the mouse, when you press the mouse, mouse exited, mouse entered, and a lot of things, right? So for example, I want to use this thing, the maximum time mouse clicked. Okay, the rest of the guys I don't need. For example, say what you're gonna see here. So for example, this is mouse event. I've got E. And I may say int x equals to e dot get x. Okay, and I'm gonna say int y equals to e dot get y. It actually gets me the x and y position at that moment when I click. Then I maybe use the G option pane dot message something. I say copy and I say paste message box on a JF. What you want to say is I want to say, for example, maybe I say x equals to, then I say plus the x which is on the top, then I say plus, then I'm going to say y equals to, then I'm going to say y. And I just give it a go. So if I click it and nothing is happening, why? Even though I have implemented the mouse listener, the thing is that we need to register for this, and I want my frame to register for this. Okay, I want my frame to register. So my frame is fm dot. You need to add mouse event to the fm. Is it fm? Is JF, sorry, it's JF. Okay. Mouse listener, and this one will handle H1, which will handle. Now, if I give it a go, I click the submit, it tells me it's your submit. If I click anywhere in the form, it says X is 138. So, for example, here, where X is gonna be 7, this thing. Okay, so it's working perfectly. But we could have done it using the other way around. Now, what is the adapter class doing? We have adapter classes in our database which acts like a buffer to the arrays and to the databases and the cursor adapters. We have a lot more, but this adapter that we're talking about is related with the events. So the adapter classes are basically what they actually, if you, for example, you see the mouse listener, and I want to use only, say for example, mouse clicker, and the rest of the guys I don't want. It's going to be messy. If I want to cut it because I don't need them, I can't, because then it will be an error. Because if you implemented the mouse listener, you have to implement everything. So what we have is the other way around. We have given for example, mouse adapter classes, the classes, which that class actually implements the mouse listener individually. All those events, like we have the mouse clicker, we have the mouse presser and mouse release it, and all those guys. Okay, as you can see here, the documentation of the mouse adapter class is an abstract class, mouse adapter. So you can't actually instantiate it, but you can extend from it. Okay, and it implements mouse listener, mouse wheel listener, mouse motion listener, and it has in the class, it has all those methods: mouse clicker, mouse presser, because you have implemented mouse listener. So it's but these guys are empty. Okay, so if you extend from the mouse adapter, basically you have all those guys in it. Okay, and you are free to override from the mouse adapter only one class or only one method. For example, if you want a mouse clicker only, you can actually these guys are for the mouse listener, by the way. Okay, you have a mouse wheel listener, you have a mouse motion listener. So there's a lot of things, and they have their own methods which you need to implement. So if you implement directly mouse listener, you have to implement all those guys. But the adapter classes are actually buffers in between, which actually does what? Which implements your mouse listener. Okay, so for example, and so that means it has all those mouse listener methods in it, and it doesn't write. These methods are empty methods, for example. Okay, so they have nothing in their braces. So what we do now is, if we extend, but you have to extend it, not to implement, because mouse adapter is a class, it's an abstract class. If you extend the mouse adapter class, and you are free to implement or override any such method. Okay, because mouse adapter is a mouse listener, right? Because it implements mouse listener, it's also a mouse listener. It's also a mouse wheel listener. It's also a mouse motion listener. And so you are free to actually override only those methods that you need. Is exactly what you're going to do here. For example, what is it showing error? Have I changed something? Okay, yeah, it's telling me add unimplemented methods, because if you want to use the mouse listener as implementation to the handler, then you're gonna use every method. But what I gotta do is, I can do this thing. I will just remove all those things which I don't need. Okay, cut it, everything. Okay, because it becomes, the code becomes messy because you don't need them, but you have them. So what I can do here is, I can extend, okay, the mouse adapter class, and so I don't need to implement mouse listener at all. Now you are free to override only one method. Okay, I will say cut, for example, and I can say here, like for example, I say source, and I can say override implement methods. And now if you could see, I have all those mouse adapters: the mouse clicker, mouse drag, and mouse entered, mouse exited, move, press, release, wheel move, because all those methods are there in the mouse adapter. I need only mouse clicker or something else. So first I need mouse clicker only. So I say okay, now it's a mouse clicker here only, where you can write your code. I have already written that, so maybe I will paste it back. So it's like this. So if I give it a go now, okay, and I click, it's working fine, and my code is not messy. My code is not messy. It's cool. It's kind of cool, right? Next thing is, if you can sometimes, even though this one is the best method which I've shown you, where you have your separate class, and for handling what you can handle everything. And for example, you want to use that anonymous class. You don't want this class to be as such. Say for example, you have some thing. You have just maybe you have just one event listing to be done. Say for example, mouse adapter class, or say for example, action listener class. For the say for example here for the add action listener, you're trying to do add action listener on the particular frame. You have to do only one kind of action listener. Say for example, action listener, you have to do only this thing. So you don't want to create a whole class and create an instance of the class and then pass stuff to this. Maybe I do here what else. Maybe I don't want to do implement action listener here. I can do it anonymously here, okay, where I say new action listener. Okay, and now if you see what's happening here is this is the anonymous class. Now you could have wondered that if action listener is an interface, you can't, it's a 100% abstract class, you can't instantiate it. Okay, so this is not an instance of this action listener, rather it's like a handle class. Like we had a handle class h1, then if you get an instance of h1 and then we implemented the action listener here. Similarly, I do this thing in a very shortcut manner. So what we do is we said that we have a new class, we have a class, and we simultaneously instantiate it, because if you have an anonymous class, there is no name, so later on you can't instantiate it. So how you can make an anonymous class? Firstly, and instantiate it, you say new, and then you say some sort of interface. So when you say interface, it basically means some class implements action listener, right? Say for example, the handle class implements action listener. So it's the anonymous class which implements action listener, and this is the class body, right? And these are the appearances of this between this thing, and this stuff from here to here is actually class body. This is literally where you can do everything. Here only I only implement the action listeners. These I don't need. Why I use this anonymous class is where I don't need the other things of the class. Okay, I need only say for example I want to implement it because my handler class was implementing, say for example, action listener on, and I need only one method. So why should I go and create a new class and then it extends me the it implements me the action listener, and then only I have to do is to implement its one method, action performed. So what I do for those situations is I create an anonymous class. It's an anonymous class, and after that I'm saying action listener. How I create an anonymous class? By saying new action listener, right? Because this new action listener means what? It means my class is an anonymous who implements the action listener, and the only thing I need here is the action performed. This is the way I have to do. But say for example, if I'm saying the class, you can have your own variables, you can have your own methods, and they will all work. But the problem is I don't have a handle to it. So literally I should not be using it for other things, but for demonstration purposes I'm saying here int a. Okay, you could have your methods here which do something. So for example, here I say I want to print this a. So first I say a equals to 88, for example, and I want to print this by using some j option p. Say for example this thing .p, and paste it here. Okay, and I want to print this value of a on it, right? So submit buttons, add action listener, and no, this will not work, right? Because let me comment it out and save it and give it a go. Now when I click a button, it basically does action performed, and there you have the a. It prints the value of a, right? This is how we do using the anonymous inner class. Okay, but basically we don't need a. Okay, if you have a class which has its own variables or methods, the better is to create a new class and where you do these things. Okay, but if you want to only one method or only some methods which an interface has, so why should I create a class and then create an instance of that class and then pass implement the action listener? Rather we have to do it in a very compact manner. Okay, using the what's called as anonymous inner classes, right? Why I say anonymous? Because it doesn't have a name, but it is a class, okay, which is a body, and it is definition of the class, okay, declaration of the class, I must say, and also the creating object of it. So the definition as well. So it's combination of definition as well as declaration. Because when you say new, you're actually creating an instance of this class, which is passed to this add action listener, right? Okay. So now I don't need this thing. Maybe I say here some stuff, which is this thing, for example. That your button, your stuff is submitted. Yeah, this is submit button, and I say your stuff is submitted. Okay. So this is all for this event listening right now, which is we have learned about the anonymous in the classes. We have learned about the mouse listeners and also the adapter classes. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Masalama.